I. The shepherd children lived about 90 miles from the capital of Lisbon, and they could not read or write. On May 13, 1917, in a grassy depression among the hills outside the village, 10-year-old Lucia and her two cousins saw the woman who spoke to them of trials and sufferings. She asked the children to come for 6 months in succession on the 13th day. Although June 13th was a holiday with games and dancing, they were not distracted from their appointment. There were more than 50 others present. She asked Lucia to come again on the 13th of the following month. The parish priest figured the children were telling the truth about what they believed they saw, but he was afraid it might be a deception from the devil. So Lucia decided not to return to the cova the following month. The apparitions lasted about 10 minutes each, and the lady addressed Lucia alone. With each appearance, they were witnessed by an increasing number of people. Many were skeptical, and the church was not pushing people into believing it. On July 13th, despite her fears, Lucia decided to join her cousins after all, at the last moment. On this day, the Lady of Light showed the children a short vision of hell. Then there was a prophecy that the war was going to end. But if people didn't stop offending God, a worse war would break out. Lucia was told that when she saw a night illuminated by an unknown light, she would know that this was a great sign given to her by God that he was about to punish the world by means of war. If people didn't stop offending God, it was predicted that Russia will continue to spread errors throughout the world, causing wars and persecutions against the church, with multitudes martyred and nations destroyed. Then the children were told a secret to be told only to the Pope. The woman asked for prayers for the conversion of Russia and foretold that Russia eventually would be converted. After the visitation, the children restated the promise that a miracle would occur on October 13th so that everyone might believe in the apparitions and message. Educated Portuguese were surprised that Russia was included in the reports. It was underfed, illiterate, economically depressed, and on the verge of a revolution. In fact, Russia was quite a religious nation belonging to the Russian Orthodox Church. It was one of the most religious nations in the world at that time. So it was very strange for the apparitions to address the need for Russia's conversion, which is not how people thought of Russia in 1917. The Russian Revolution was not going to take place until 1 or 2 months following the Fatima apparitions. In August of 1917, the apparition took place on another day. The government was concerned about growing crowds and reports of activity, and the 3 children had been taken away as prisoners. Some 6,000 had gathered to see the apparition and returned to their homes disappointed. Meanwhile, the children wouldn't change their story. On August 15th, they were released to their frantic parents. 4 days later, Lucia, Francisco, and his brother were tending sheep in a nearby village. The lady appeared to them there, told them not to be afraid, and promised to return to the cova the following month. Thousands of people arrived from all over Portugal and Spain for the September 13th visitation. The main road was so jammed that it almost was impossible to move. At this point, there were still those who had great doubts about the apparitions and believed this was something invented by the devil to destroy the church. October 13th was a very rainy day, and the ground became extremely muddy. More than 70,000 people gathered at the site. Some hoped to see the waited-for miracle. Others were there to make fun of this sensational display. For weeks, the reports of Fatima had been criticized by the most circulated newspapers in the country. It was on that day that the miracle of the sun, or the falling of the sun, occurred. When it began to move, the crowd turned and looked toward the sun. They were able to look at it without blinding their eyes. So it was the first thought that it was an eclipse. But it grew larger and started to move toward the earth. Then the sun shook and zigzagged in the sky. The display lasted about 12 minutes, and for a finale, the sun fell toward the thousands gathered there. Some thought it was the end of the world. Suddenly, it reversed itself and ascended back to its normal position. The ground and the people were all completely dry afterwards. During the movement of the sun, the children were seeing Jesus, who blessed the crowds. Newspapers worldwide referred to the miracle of the sun. The idea of mass hypnotism was thrown out when it was learned that many eyewitnesses at great distances saw the same movements of the sun. The experience of the 3 shepherds cannot be dismissed as an illusion or a hoax. Something clearly happened there. This sensational exhibition in the sky has been called God's flaming endorsement to all that the Mother of Jesus did and said at Fatima. Francisco died April 5th, 1918, and did not even reach the age of 10. Jacinta died February 10th of 1920. Lucia entered the sister's school at age 14. She later entered a cloistered convent and is still alive. It is said that the Mother Mary and the Trinity appeared to Lucia in her convent chapel on June 25th of 1929. The lady expressed a desire that the church and the world should be consecrated for world peace. On October 1st, 1942, Pope Pius XII did just that. The skies were lit by undefined light on January 25th of 1938. For about 5 hours, the sky in Europe had a red glow, which was seen from the north to the Adriatic Seas. The event was headlined in newspapers all over the world. 47 days later, on Sunday, March the 13th, Hitler invaded Austria. The writings of Sister Lucia, including The Secret of Fatima, were finally sent to Pope John XXIII in 1957. The Pope decided to keep the message secret after reading the contents. Successive popes were given the letter containing the secret. In 1972, the Bishop of Fatima and Rome both declared the Fatima message worthy of belief. Although spiritual conversions dominate, Fatima continues to be the site of many physical miracles. The huge square is double the size of St. Peter's in Rome. It is crowded every year on the 12th and 13th from May to October. Fatima hosts over 3 million visitors a year. Remains of Francisco and Jacinta are inside the basilica. The Marto home where Francisco and Jacinta were born, and the room in which Francisco died, is a half-mile from the Fatima Church. The Dos Santos home is where Lucia was born and lived until her 14th birthday. In the backyard is the well where the children often hid to pray. The words of the lady spoken 72 years ago to the 3 little children were for us also, and it continues to be a source of religious doctrine. We may all consider the world events to decide whether or not people of the world are fulfilling the prophecy of Fatima. In the absence of peace in our world, Fatima emerges as a message of the most serious warning that holds profound significance for our world today. The plight of today's world? The wrath of God is being revealed from heaven against the irreligious and perverse spirit of men who in this perversity of theirs hinder the truth. Therefore these men are inexcusable. They certainly had knowledge of God, yet they did not glorify him as God or give him thanks. They claimed to be wise, but turned into fools instead. In consequence, God delivered them up to their lusts. They are filled with every kind of wickedness. They know God's just decree that all who do such things deserve death, yet they not only do them, but approve them in others. And the answer? Seek the Lord while he may be found. Call him while he is near. Let the scoundrel forsake his way and the wicked man his thoughts. Let him turn to the Lord for mercy, to our God who is generous and forgiving. The story of Guadalupe is well documented, based on a work written by an Aztec historian named Antonio Valeriano. Valeriano's account is based on personal interviews with the main characters of the story.
We had good security that the history is like was written by this Antonio Valeriano, who was together with Juan Diego, with Zumara, and could ask them about everything that happened.
The legend began shortly after the Spanish conquest.
This new country was just starting. Nobody wanted the faith of those soldiers that came from Spain.
By 10 years after the fall of Mexico City, there was peace again in the villages. Faith and knowledge of the one true God began to sprout roots. Ever since his wife Maria Lucia had died, Juan Diego lived with and took care of his ill and elderly uncle, Juan Bernardino. His conversion to Catholicism was a gesture of protest against his people's practice of human blood sacrifices. He wore cotton clothes and a cloak called an ayate or tilma made of coarse cactus fibers. On Saturday morning, December 9th, 1531, Juan Diego was passing by the hill of Tepeyac on his way to early Mass and catechism. The Tepeyac Hill was once the location of a pagan temple to an Aztec goddess Earth Mother figure. Suddenly, he heard birds singing and someone calling his name from the top of the hill. When he climbed it, he saw a lady who was dark-skinned like himself. She was dressed like an Aztec princess and radiated magnificent rays of light. She seemed to be floating on air just above the ground.
The Virgin said to Juan Diego, "I am your mother, and I want that you will go with the bishop and tell him that I need here a little house in order to give all of you to my son."
Bishop did not believe. So Juan Diego came back and telling her, "Well, I'm hopeless. Send somebody else more important." Said, "No, you will go tomorrow and ask again." He did. The bishop asked for a proof. And Our Lady said, "Come tomorrow and I will send to him, to the bishop, the proofs he's wanting." Didn't come. His uncle was sick, very sick.
Then Juan Diego go out from the house and try to walk very quickly to bring the priest. And he said, "If I will go by this side of the little hill, I meet with the Virgin, and I can't stay here now because my uncle is waiting the priest."
So the lady said, "No, don't worry for your uncle. He is already okay. And go to the mountain, take the flowers, the roses, and bring to the bishop."
Believing that his uncle was healed, Juan Diego gathered a large bouquet of roses, carefully wrapped them in his ayate, and took them to the bishop, whom he insisted on seeing personally. Intrigued by his own curiosity, the bishop permitted the Indian to enter even though there were others present. Through an interpreter, Juan Diego told the bishop all that had happened and opened his cloak.
When he opened his tilma with the flowers, then appeared the image of Our Lady that we can see now.
In this moment, the bishop go down crying and said, "Please forgive me because I can't believe before this moment."
Upon his return home, Juan Diego learned that the lady at the hill had also appeared to his uncle and that he was completely cured. Catholic evangelization took an incredible jump in growth. No pressure or force was employed on the conversions. Approximately 9 million Indians were baptized in Mexico between 1532 and 1548. Some believe it was these results that created Catholic Mexico and gave the nation the moral fiber it needed to withstand oppressions and revolutions yet to come. A church was built on the barren Tepeyac site by the time Juan Diego died in 1548 at the age of 74. Juan Diego's ayate and the image of Guadalupe that appeared 456 years ago have been enshrined behind glass in the new Basilica of Guadalupe, the third place it has been housed. The image is on display at the foot of a much larger cross of Jesus. Over the centuries, numerous miracles have been associated to the Virgin of Guadalupe.
Mary wants that all of them know Jesus. She used the way that the Indians know. The top of the hill, there are the special place to speak with God.
Critics claim the church altered the facts and conveniently substituted the Virgin of Guadalupe to replace the pagan goddess of the very same Tepeyac spot. They say this was done to subdue the Aztecs and to quickly establish Catholicism. But it suggests a miracle for the cloak to still exist at all. It's made of a vegetable matter that normally deteriorates within 25 or 30 years. During its first 117 years on display, it was unprotected from climate changes, smoke from burning candles, and the handling of devoted pilgrims. The beautiful ayate is two pieces sewn together.
Here is an ayate. Juan Diego used like this. Then, when the bishop have the flowers, Juan Diego leave the ayate like this.
They have two pieces, 55 centimeters each, what means altogether is 1 meter and 10 centimeters.
Tests made and chemical analysis